Many names come up in the course of the modern-day GOAT debates, with most of the mass media focusing on Michael Jordan and LeBron James. But Wilt Chamberlain is a name that likely doesn't get enough attention or respect. So let's explore the reasons why Chamberlain has become underrated in the modern sports landscape.
The winning is only important if you beat the best. My friend Wilt Norman Chamberlain was far and away the best player I've ever played against.
Typically in past iterations of these GOAT debates, championships were a major barometer of determining where a player ranked all time. But in today's world, and within this new generation of fan, there is a mounting desire and sentiment to diminish the importance of championships. So in viewing players through this lens and evaluating their individual impact and dominance on the sport, perhaps no player presents a more complete and compelling case than Wilt Chamberlain. Chamberlain is, quite simply, the most dominant player who has ever lived, despite modern-day narratives to the contrary. Wilt Chamberlain played 14 full seasons from age 23 to 36. For his career, Chamberlain is 7th on the all-time scoring list and 1st in career rebounds. But I think it's worth noting that Chamberlain played fewer games than all 6 players ahead of him on the all-time scoring list. And aside from Michael Jordan, it was drastically fewer games. To put it into context, LeBron James, the NBA's all-time scoring leader to date, has played in 376 more games than Wilt and attempted 4,547 more shot attempts. Chamberlain was the fastest in terms of games played to reach 10,000 points, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, and 30,000 career points. In terms of individual dominance and statistical accomplishments, make no mistake, Chamberlain was unmatched by everyone ever.
You played against him. For those of us who never saw him live, what should people know about Wilt as a player?
Wilt averaged 50 in one season. He did. He averaged 50 in one season.
If you have one player in NBA history that you could start a team around, who would it be?
I don't hate questions like that. It would be Wilt Chamberlain.
Why?
Because he's the greatest big man in the history of the game.
To say who is the greatest, we will never know that. I mean, in my eye, Wilt Chamberlain is the greatest basketball player.
Who do you think is the greatest of all time?
Wilt Chamberlain.
It was a different game. Yeah. It was a different game still. You know, 50 points, 25 rebounds. It's 50 points and 25 rebounds. It's a credit to what a physical specimen he was and how talented he was.
Growing up in Philadelphia, Chamberlain was a monster among men even as a child, as he was 6 feet tall by 10 years of age and 6'10" by his freshman year of high school. Chamberlain wasn't all size though, as he was a tremendous all-around athlete, starring in multiple sports all the way through his collegiate career. When at the University of Kansas, Chamberlain competed in the high jump, broad jump, shot put, and quarter mile. He even won a Big 7 championship in the high jump during his college career. His strength was also something of legend, as he was known to bench press nearly 600 pounds and deadlift over 700 pounds. A fairly decent bodybuilder you might have heard of, 7-time Mr. Olympia Arnold Schwarzenegger, worked out with the then 50-year-old Wilt on the set of Conan, and he said Chamberlain was one of the strongest men he had ever seen. At the age of 32, Wilt decided to take up volleyball and quickly became a sand volleyball legend. He was considered to be one of the best players of his time and ultimately would be named to the International Volleyball Association Hall of Fame. At the age of 62, Chamberlain competed in the Honolulu Marathon, as well as a 50-mile race. The point here being, this guy's overall athleticism is criminally undervalued and disrespected. His career dominance is routinely dismissed as, quote, he was just bigger than everyone else.
But it feels like Wilt Chamberlain, we look at it and go, you know, he played in a different league. But I think we view it as, you know, now that Wilt Chamberlain guy, he scored 100 in a game, like he was an alien.
However, Chamberlain had a 48-inch vertical leap at 7'1" and nearly 275 pounds. records. If transposed into today's era, Chamberlain would not only be able to play, but he would dominate. His stranglehold on the all-time NBA record book remains a testament to his dominance to this day. Dominance, which began the moment he entered the league. Chamberlain led the NBA in scoring for his first 7 NBA seasons, and that included his rookie season. As a rookie, Chamberlain averaged an absurd 38 points and 27 rebounds per game. He won Rookie of the Year, All-Star Game MVP, and League MVP. Wait, what? Hold up. Wilt Chamberlain won NBA MVP as a rookie? Yes, you did hear that right. Wilt Chamberlain won his first of 4 career MVPs as a rookie. And in the 6 years that would follow that season, Chamberlain assaulted the NBA like no player has since. From his rookie season to his aged 29 year, Chamberlain played 543 of a possible 574 games, while averaging 47 minutes per game. Basketball games are only 48 minutes long, by the way. During that span of time, Chamberlain averaged 40 points per game and 27 rebounds. Can you imagine a person averaging 40 points per game for a 7-year span in the NBA and not being considered to be in the GOAT conversation? Chamberlain also has the most 40, 50, and 60-point games by an absurd video game-like margin. He has nearly 100 more 40-point games than Michael Jordan, who is number 2 on that list. With 271 career 40-point games, he has over double the 40-point games that Kobe Bryant scored, and Kobe is number 3 on that list by a significant margin. 50-point games is even more absurd, as Chamberlain's 118 is more than Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, James Harden, Elgin Baylor, and Damian Lillard had combined. Those players make up the 2 through 6 spots on that list. Noticing a trend here? Then it should come as no surprise that Chamberlain has also significantly outpaced anyone else in NBA history in career 60-point games. Not only does his 32 60-point games far exceed Kobe Bryant, who is second on that list with 6, but every other player in NBA history has combined to score just 50 total 60-point games. Where Chamberlain's case as the sport's greatest player of all time typically falls apart is when evaluating his impact in terms of winning championships. Chamberlain made it to the NBA Finals 6 times in his 14-year career. He lost in the finals in 1964, 1969, 1970, and 1973. He won the championship just 2 times in 1967 and 1972. Within this era, he played Bill Russell in 8 different playoff series, losing 7 of them. All of this as Russell went on to win 11 championships in 12 appearances during the same era as Wilt. For this reason, and due to Wilt Chamberlain's 2-4 record in the NBA Finals, Wilt is generally discarded in all-time GOAT conversations, which is a fair point, to be honest. But for some reason, the standard has changed in recent years, and there is less of a dependence on winning to be included in these types of conversations. So it's not necessarily much of a stretch at all as to why Wilt Chamberlain should start being included in more of them.